Hi again, this is Cyprien from FE4All, and this is the third video about Fortran. We'll go slightly more complex, but really you'll see that's very simple. So you'll do a very simple program to sum two real numbers, and at the same time we'll learn very important thing about integers and reals and things you absolutely need to know if you're working with a lot of numbers um, in Fortran. So I already cd into my desktop folder called Fortran, in which I have all my Fortran files, and now let's open a new one called sum.f95, the extension of Fortran 95 with Emacs. So you can use any other text editor, but I like this Emacs. I'm learning it lately, and it's quite fun. So let's start a program called. So we start like the other one, program. Let's call it simply sum, and end program. Sorry, end program like that, sum. In between, what do we need to do? Well, the first instruction is implicit none. So I explained in the previous video why you have to use this, so I will not repeat that. Watch the previous video about how to write a name script if you want to know. So now let's declare the variable. And the variable will be real this time. So in the previous tutorial I used a character, a string. So the keyword for that is real, two dots, and now I will have three variables. So value x, value y, and the sum of both that I will call, let's call it answer. And now basically what I want to do is very simple. I want to print first something that will ask me to enter the variables, right? So enter two variables or two numbers. Okay. And now that I did that, I need to read that. So I'm using the same function that I used previously. So read star the name. So I will read the first one entered into X and the second into Y. And then what I'll do is to compute the variable answer. So answer will be equal to X plus Y. So it's when you see this kind of expression, answer equal X plus Y, it's tempting to think that what the program is doing is that it's actually taking the value of X, taking the value of Y, adding them both, and then storing them into answer. But what the program really does is a bit more complex than that. It's actually the X and the Y here are variables which represent the position in memory of the content of your X and Y that you entered into your terminal. So those are addresses. So what you're really doing here is that you are adding the content of two variables which are stored at two different positions, and then you are creating a new you can say a pointer called answer in which you will store the solution. So for now it's not really important to know that, but in certain it's a concept that you need to have, so that's why I'm mentioning it. Okay, so now let's print out so the total is and answer. Right, and that's all. So let's just Control X, Control S to save that. And let's use the same trick than previously to open to window, Control X3. And let's just open the shell into here. which is nice. So esc x and you type shell to open that. You can also do it in normal terminal, so no problem with it. Okay, and now we run the program gfortran, which will compile my file. So I give it the output name, so the program will be called sum, and the program I'm compiling is sum.f95. Enter, it's compiled. Now I can run my program, so dot dash to run the program, sum, and now the program starts. So to enter two numbers, I can either enter like that, 23, enter, 12, enter, and then it gives me the total is 35. So you see that it works. Okay, so now that I have my sum program, let's do another one called division, in which I'll show you some very important thing about Fortran that you must know, especially when you divide two variables. So let's create a new file called divide.f95. Okay, and let's start the same way. Program divide and end program divide. In between, we start with implicit none. We declare the variables, and this time I'll use an integer x, and I'll use a real y, and the purpose is to show you what happens when you mix different types of things together, which Fortran doesn't like that. And the first thing I'll do is that I do x equal 1, and then I will do x equal x divided by 3. So I'm hoping y is a real, okay, so if I divide 1 by 3, I should get 0.333, right? And let's print y. Save that. Let's open a new window, and let's open the shell. Let's use gfortran, and the name of my so divide, the name of my executable, and divide f95, the file to compile. Okay, I'm compiling that, and let's launch the program and see the result it gives me. Divide, oh, and it gives me 0. That's really strange, because I was expecting 0.333, but it gives me 0. So what's the problem here? The problem here is that y is a real, x is integer, so it doesn't like the mixing of integer with real. So if you want to get results, you need to have the same type. So that's the first thing. So let's try. Let's sorry, I wanted to delete that really. So real, x and y, and this time x equal 1, y equal so now they are the same type, right? So I'm saving that. I'm going here to compile again and to launch and see what I'm getting. Oh, and now I'm getting 0.333, so now it kind of works. So there is still some work to do on the precision, which seems not so good. But anyway, that's something to work on. Now, there's another thing I just want to mention at the end. In this kind of situation, so both are reals, so it works. So if you are in Fortran, defining numbers like that, 1 divided by 3, it's actually 1 is an integer here, and you'll get 0 actually from out of that. So it's taking the real part of this division. So if you want to do this kind of division and get 0.3, what you need to do is 1.0 and 3.0. If you do like that, it will consider those numbers as reals and not as integers. So that's the kind of thing you need to know. Okay, so that's all for this video, and in the next one we'll take a look at how to do loops, for example, and how to make if statements, things like that you have to know. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. So if you're on YouTube, you'll probably find the link to the article and the next videos inside the description. Otherwise, you can go on my blog feforall.com and click in the category open source FEA, and you'll find all the articles I wrote about open source FEA and the previous videos inside this category. So thank you for watching. I hope that you learned a lot and that you will learn a lot using all the videos that I am sharing on my blog. So if you like those videos, please help me to share them with your friends and other engineers. And also, please let me know what you think in the comments. It's always great to have some kind of feedback, and if you have some ideas of things you would like to learn or do with FEA, please also let me know. Thank you for watching again.